Ooh, 27 Club.
All right, gang, let's really nail it this time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP can't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP can't nothing, we on fellowship. Florida Lee on my top, this a Saints hat. This the third can't be been in, he a J-Cat. Nigga tryna steal the sauce, yeah, I hate that. But I ain't make the rules, I can't change that. New bottle, new wine, yeah, I can't crack. Look, flag on the play, they grabbing face masks. Niggas always saving hoes where your cape at. The only killer that you know without no face tag. Hell yeah, my bitch bad, Proverbs 31, yeah. This is not a drill, I be 30'd up, yeah. He about to crack the sky, you better hurry up. It's all bad when you see us hang that jersey up. It's mad brick, I got the blick with my cover on. He a fed, he a op, got his cover blown. Look, I'm really outside without no scully on. It's one West, bitch, I'm on with my brothers on. He got ranked, then he left, he broke another oath. I got the plate, we about to take another zone. They was sleeping on the team, now they comatose. Left his brother out to dry, I guess he wanna fold. Put the oil on his head, that's another soul. I try to tell him we a pro, don't do this shit at home. She unhappy, left her man, she a 304. He try to justify that shit, he broke the penal code. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP can't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP can't nothing, we on fellowship. Gotta watch these niggas, they be cointel. LeBron ain't never killed nobody, but I know he will. It's on me everywhere I go, yeah, that's the holy seal. My niggas itching when it's up, you better not touch a chair. Ooh, I'm with the extra, that's off the back. He ain't loyal to his brothers, how you follow that? She either working with her hands or she off her bag. Broke bitches, yeah, they done that, give me a heart attack. You see the banner, but my head, I'm a part of that. These niggas cowards, pussies, we don't want no parts in that. They let our warrior out of prison, he ain't going back. And don't be speaking on the truth, cause we with all of that. Look, before they started dissing, they was fans first. You will never catch me digging in no man purse. Really put my brick in, that's why my hands hurt. And don't be speaking bullshit, that make my head hurt. Look, I done burn my fingers from the Michael Drake. For the brotherhood, I done threw my life away. I never see him, tell them come out from their hiding place. We can't do it, we told them we gon' find a way. They'd rather march 1,000 deep, we rather feed the people. They wouldn't put on all black, now he reading Hebrew. UPK the standard if you speak on Hebrew. Don't think they solid, get with them niggas just gon' leave you. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK nothing, we on fellowship.
Seriously, you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do His will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say hate. African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville when I found the truth. I called the school, class was being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't me murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Wave that one West, cover out that window. Let them know I'm coming with my kinfolk. Red letter, ski mask on, but I don't really ski though. Bullets bald head like they going through chemo. I slide on them Tony Hawk type. Better get your thoughts right. Jumping high on walls, this ain't Fortnite. Red dot, it kinda make it way too easy for a headshot. I put you under wing, it turned into a headlock. I told my niggas think it's time to put the pressure on. You bring that paper, told her throw a little extra on. We go to war and see, I murder one, you murder two, it ain't the same degree. Better up into a capital offense for them dollars, but it really don't make sense. Guns behind tents with some liquor and we riding down the freeway. Slide on them, spin the block and replay, so we slide again.
You know my position, I'm on standby. Ain't no competition, it's a landslide. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them, nigga, slide again. Niggas claim they hot, but we been fire. If they ain't one of mine, so they ain't tied. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them, nigga, slide again.
We got this mapped out. Niggas selling wolf tickets, not living what they rap out.
said he gon' ride, too emotional, he'll crash out. And I ain't boxing, wrestle with this cannon, you gon' tap out. 100 troopers in the building, turn the shit into a blackout. We both come from the mother, why you tryin' to do me dirty? He cut himself off, we let him rock, he ain't worthy. You playing ball courts, throwing number like a jersey. While niggas folded like origami, I kept it sturdy. Told my son he got the blood of a king, he ain't got a word. They gon' cross you like a Christian, it's better to learn this early. They be watching, trying to copy, asking questions, trying to learn me. I ain't in the back and forth if the business don't concern me. Catch the wrath from my anger, I be trying to give a mercy. Ask the angels keep me covered, I'ma slide, they might have heard me. They playing with that fire, get you close, it's gonna burn me. We ain't never looking back, moving forward, it's the journey.
You know my position, I'm on standby. Ain't no competition, it's a landslide. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them, nigga, slide again. Niggas claim they hot, but we been fine. If they ain't one of mine, so they anti. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them, little nigga, I'm made. All these rappers soft, claim they all cut from a hold of a clove. I'm the one with the blade. Untamed gorilla, keep your hands out the cage. I be standing on they neck, one west to the grave. You can keep your mercy, nigga, I ain't worried. Revenge call me buddy love, I call her Miss Purdy. Nigga try to blitz, I'm going 730. I'ma shake the whole room like Big Shirty. Nigga say one war, it's whatever, buddy. Glock fully loaded, you know these letters bloody. Come for me, you a bitch, homie. Boy, I'm realer than your big homie. 144, yeah, the one and only. And you know I keep this blick on me. Bout to slam you like Mick Foley. I got that black out on my arm, play that bitch like a violin. Said me try me once, nigga, try again. You know my position, I'm on standby. Ain't no competition, it's a landslide. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them, nigga, slide again. Niggas claim they hot, but we been fine. If they ain't one of mine, so they anti. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them, nigga, slide again.
Local niggas, they be so offended. One Westworld, this global business.
Hold on, let me ask y'all a question. All y'all niggas in the same school and all that?
Hell, fuck yeah.
So none of y'all niggas smoke weed?
Fuck no.
Don't fold if you say you win it. I was molded to it, now I'm it. Can't control, this the highest limit. Killer shit, but this an honest living. Gotta get it, ain't no time for wishing. The time is now, better pay attention. In my city, you can feel the tension. A terror squad, no pun intended. This ain't for you, but I recommend it. They know we coming, better clear the entrance. Shit get deep, but I keep digging. This how I look when you keep winning. Overtime, I had to take the hint. Shine bright, sit behind the tents. 1-on-1, I ain't in the mix. Ain't what you thought, better get a glimpse. Came up from a pedal bike. Pressing brakes, I ain't never liked. Whole time I was taking risks. They don't play with me cause they know I'm nice. Round form, I ain't even started. Transform, I ain't here to bargain. You on watch, better move with caution. Chains on me, I don't do this often. No error, this shit flawless. Reach for it, you become a target. It ain't worth it, better keep walking. All I know is survival. All this fashion is tribal. Want the head of my rival. This about to go viral. I say the word, then it's final. To get the moving like pronto. I'm just living my title. Do this shit with my eyes closed. All I know is survival. All this fashion is tribal. Want the head of my rival. It's about to go viral. Say the word, then it's final. Get the moving like pronto. I'm just living my title. Do this shit with my eyes closed. Don't wanna hear all that street shit. Me and my niggas on defense. Wonder who I was in my past life. Don't even matter, that peep this. Remember the days when I was a trooper. Stay on the path and it won't confuse you. Bars all, I'm the one to do it. I roll on eights like a flight maneuver. Try to trick me, I ain't never moving. Camouflage, I can blend into it. They better ride, I don't do the Ubers. Let them talk, I don't hear the rumors. A little suffer ain't really nothing. The way I stomp it, better play the trumpet. You see me coming, better get the running. If they see me coming, better get the running. You ain't never seen it, you ain't never witnessed, you ain't never noticed, you ain't never focused. I was really waiting, I was really training. Sick and tired of being patient. I ain't never doubted. This was in the making. Use what I got, not in the wasting. For rapping and singing, I could
never drink it, but I'm from the bottom, so I gotta make it. This ain't rapping, it's a damn warning. Late night to the early morning. Got a vision, I planned it out. They tried to stop me, but I kept going. I study plays, now I'm in the game, and it's all the same, but I had to change. You'll never crash if you in your lane. I can take the loss, cause it's all a game.
Yo, what Casamigos mean in English? Drunk.
All I know is survival. All this fashion is tribal. Want the head of my rival. This about to go viral. I say the word, then it's final. To get the moving like pronto. I'm just living my title. Do this shit with my eyes closed. All I know is survival. All this fashion is tribal. Want the head of my rival. This about to go viral. I say the word, then it's final. Get the moving like pronto. I'm just living my title. Do this shit with my eyes closed.
All right, Shalom Israel. We about to go live for Purim. Clap it up, clap it up. I'm just going to do one last thing. I'm going to add the ISUPK headquarters Instagram channel. So if any of y'all are on Instagram, all of y'all should share it and follow. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we're going to get into the class. We're going to break down the book of Purim, the book of Esther, the whole story, the history of Purim, the importance of how it ties together as we're watching our enemies implode all around us. We're about to get into it.
Yeah. Cut this out, build the beat up. My title ring bells.
That's ISUPK _ HQ on Instagram. ISUPK _ HQ.
I'm quick to put up a fight. Your dark sayings ain't enough. No throwing shade, but they light. You know the shark by the fin, but know the strength by the bite. They talking all damn day, ain't got no dog in the fight. Dry bones in the valley. Found a body in the alley tuck. Balenciaga's too heavy. Track it down and follow up a brief second. They want me down, they want me broke, they want me keep stressing. My man smoking on that dope, he said he sleep better. I'm trying to knock this lid off. I go through each level. There's no response, a head nod, I make her feel special. You go against me, I push back, cause I don't feel pressure. This ain't a gimmick, I'm about business. I'm a real member, real problem solver to the roof. Off your demons, man, I do this too often. It's a coffin after every verse. Watch their hands, they double dealing. Shorty stripping on the day of rest, but next day in the church, man, this shit hurt. Grandmama watching kids, she love them, they don't listen to her. Pops running in the street, the fast life is getting torn. Section 8 in the poorest section of the city, made the best out of it. Mr. Iced Tea with the whiskey, we gon' hit diamonds. Keep digging, keep climbing, listen loudly, speak silent. My youngin', he need guidance, curses running bone deep. Been struggling this whole week, this ain't sweet. Thought he was riding, but he is slowly. My pop told me do what you do, and just be a man about it. If you start building up something, you gotta stand by it. I fell in love with this progress, destroyed the build process. Thoughts from a hustler, an economic mindset, iconic stroll. Gotta meet my goal before the sunset. They always say it's someone better, and I ain't met that one yet. Life is just a game, I'm on a winning streak, who want next? I peeped the whole setup, flipped the script, and now they upset. Only came from mine, I took the time and left the extras in the whoop-de-whoop. Chain on Fruity Loose, they come to take your breakfast. Being honest is not an option. You a bitch, I'm being modest. Co-signer, stand by it. 2 on point to stand by me. Drive my Hot Wheel like a Johnny, that's the truth. I'm a lion running loose. I'm a giant to the moon, that's where I take it. And that's word to this war scarf. I'm there before the war start. Word to leave your whole mind polluted. Keep a pure heart, I'm hands on, I ain't coddle. This shit hitting like a bad kid. Got an ear, let them hear. I better duck like Donald. I picked up cause all the violence, plus I'm hated cause I'm honest. Real niggas, none left. One West is where you find us. You a spark, I'm atomic, Noah's Ark, just flow with me. Lost a few but gained plenty. Flipped it off the same penny. I feel like the chase for the cloud is the new opiate. Won't associate with no divas to feel appropriate. I shine bright and it's not ice, but they notice it. Still controlling shit overloaded, but this that soldier shit. I'm on top, used to want the top, but now I'm over it. Compare me to your childhood trauma. I'm here to make you feel in love like when your pop left mama. Mary J was the result, I know they don't want drama. Man, I just wife Karma, and she got a great future behind her. But I'm bored with all this picky saluting and all the picking and choosing. Yeah, bro, when you know when he lose, chosen. You created a fake beef, and that's impossible. Edibles, Christ-like, so I whoop ass. Let's keep it professional. My mind dark with a spark. I'll leave you a vegetable. Stats incredible. Circle is skeptical. Sketchy slither figure niggas. I'm the roughest. If you trying to get technical, I made a deal with myself. The only deal with myself, and on the real.
All right, y'all, we live. I am Offshot Shia Allah up here in headquarters in Harlem, ISUBK headquarters. We are on 124th and 3rd Avenue. If you're not here, I don't know why. This is a beautiful, beautiful feast day every year where we feast and toast to the Most High, delivering us from enemies that hate us. If you can't relate to that, you're not paying attention in this world today. So every year, well, last year, I wanted to get through the entire book of Esther in these 2 days. We have a class tonight and a class tomorrow, a feast tonight and a feast tomorrow. Where, as the scriptures say, we eat, drink, and be merry. I got shout out to Black-owned brewery, Harlem Brewery up here. I got 125th Street IPA. As y'all know, the ISUBK coming out of 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General Yohana since 1969. We've been out on these streets pushing this truth that the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Bible, which means this history is our history, and it's ours to take back. Because if you go outside right now, you're going to see the Ishman that calls himself the Jew running around in costumes, doing some type of bootleg Halloween. And that's crazy. That's nowhere in the scriptures. Nowhere in the story of Esther can you find anything that tells you that you should put on a costume and go have a costume party to remember this holy day, to remember this feast day. There's nothing in there that would even make you think that. But the Jewish man is just trying to basically have, just a little pagan celebration for the kids, and it's goofy. And every year they do something, they wear some offensive costumes, they put on blackface, and they parade through our neighborhoods and just throw it in our faces. But this is our culture. There's a beautiful story to this. There's a reason that we celebrate this that they can't relate to. They can't look around today and relate to feeling oppressed and everybody wanting to destroy and wipe them out. That's our lives. Living in this hell as a Black man, as a Hispanic man, as a Native American man and woman. That's our lives. That's all that we've known for generations and generations and generations and generations. So we're going to dive into this and break this down from Esther chapter 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. So this was a vast empire that we were at this point in as slaves. We were brought there as slaves. We were brought there as captives. And that was the place, the role that we had. We were people in this empire that were not just like here in America. What do we constantly hear all the time? Treated like second-class citizens. That was our existence here. We were just, we were brought there, and then they kind of looked at us like, why are y'all still here? So verse 2, that in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. And this is all key because these details allow us to connect the history to this actual time period, to the actual kingdom was reigning, to the actual empire with the boundaries that you can look up in the history books. It's all there. Now, if you ask the white man, he's going to tell you that this is an allegorical story that didn't really happen, that it's too neat, that it's a fairy tale. But you can actually go into the history, not only from our side, but from their side, and find the same stories play out, the same details play out. You can find Queen Esther in the Persian history. The problem is, the reason they say that is because, again, they can't relate to it. That's going to be a theme through this whole thing as we go through it. They can't relate to this story at all. So it must be a fairy tale. It must be just some silly holiday to put on costumes. It must be something to just play around with, because it doesn't connect to their lives today, because it's not their history. Verse 5. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white, green, and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen, and purple to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of red and blue, and white and black marble. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another, and royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king. So this was a huge feast. They broke out all the decorations, all the best wine, all the best drink, all the vessels. Verse 8. And the drinking was according to the law. None did compel, for so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure. And this is going into the culture of the Persians. If you look up the way that they had their party, there was compelled drinking, but that didn't happen here. This was just a king throwing a feast. Verse 9. Also Vashti the queen made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abitha, Zethar, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look upon. And so now this king, they're feasting, they're drinking, and this heathen king sends to call his queen to come and just parade her in front of his guests, which is weird, which is a heathenish thing to do, to bring your wife and parade her in front of everything. That's something we do today because we take on the culture of our oppressors. A man's wife is his private thing to enjoy. That's not for you to parade out there in front of other men. That's weird, and it's feminine, and it's homosexual. But this is what the king was doing. Verse 12. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. So for whatever reason, the queen said, "No, I don't want to come out and be paraded in front of these people." And the king took that to heart. Verse 13. Then the king said to the wise men which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face and which set the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes, when it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. And so that was their concern. If the queen can disobey the king, then what is the ordinary dude's wife going to act like? So they wanted to stamp this out immediately. Verse 18. Likewise, shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. And so they were going to have the king write a decree get rid of her, find someone else to replace her. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. Chapter 2. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the women, unto the custody of Hedge the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them, and let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. So basically, they sent out for all the finest women they could find throughout the empire to be brought in front of the king to replace Vashti. So verse 5. Now in Shushan the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. Which, again, there's details all throughout this that tie this all together, that allow you to verify the history that we can trace. So anytime the white man loves to try to dismiss the book of Esther as too perfect, too neat, and to say it must be some type of allegory, and I'm going to keep stressing throughout this class, that's because they can't relate to this story. Verse 6. Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. So it came to pass, when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Hegai, that Esther was brought also into the king's house, to the custody of Hegai, keeper of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women. So from the moment Esther walks in there, she's already getting that favor and being pushed towards the front. Verse 10, Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. So basically, she wasn't letting it be known that she was an Israelite. Verse 11, and Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished. Verse 13, then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women, to the custody of Shaashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name. So this king, as we already know, he's kind of an effeminate goofball. He got a wife just to put her away and forget about her, except every so often he would call her in. Verse 15, now in the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come in to go in unto the king. She required nothing but what Hegai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. And all this favor, all this, the way that she's being moved through this process, this is all being ordained and set up by the Lord for the way this is going to end up. Verse 16. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him. So this sister who was raised by Mordecai, has sense enough to follow the guidance that he gave her. She wasn't sitting there like, no man can tell me what to do. I know how to handle myself. I know how to carry myself. She was doing what the brother told her, following his guidance, and it was setting up the way this is all going to play out. Verse 21, in those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those who kept the door, were wroth and sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen, and Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name. And when inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree, and it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king. And so these 3 verses summarize a huge event here. Mordecai, who sat and chilled in the gate, heard these 2 chamberlains of the king who wanted to kill the king. Mordecai told Esther, Esther told the king, and the king put him to death ASAP. Keep that in mind for later. Chapter 3. After these things did Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, why transgresseth thou the king's commandment? So now fast forward, after Mordecai saved the king's life and he forgot about it, now this cat Haman, who was raised up by the king to being right underneath him, he expected everybody to bow to him when he walked out. And Mordecai, who chills in the king's gate every day, he would not. Everyone else did. All the Persians bowed to him. Mordecai refused to bow to him because this was a real Israelite brother right here. And he knew his culture. He knew that we don't bow to no man or no heathen. He knew that we have a God that's going to protect us. And so he ignored this dude. He didn't care what position he was in. He didn't care what power he had. He just completely ignored him. And that burned this cat Haman up. Verse 4. Now it came to pass when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. So this cat Haman, this little dude Haman was so offended that Mordecai would not bow to him that he didn't think it would be enough to lay hands on just him. He started plotting how he could destroy his entire people. Verse 7, in the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. And that's where the word Purim comes from, which is lots. Purim is lots in the Hebrew. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad, and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries. So now Haman is right up in the king's ear, just being a little slime ball. And he's saying, yo, there's a people in our kingdom that they have their own culture. They don't even follow your ways. So why we even keep them around? Let's get rid of them. If you get rid of them, I'll pay for the whole thing. So you'll get it. It'll come back to the kingdom. And he's just whispering all this right in the king's ear. Verse 10, and the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. So the king giving him his ring, that's his seal. That's what now Haman can write a decree, seal it with the king's ring, and send it out. And like we read a couple of times, mentions of that it be not altered, because the Persians had a way of their law that once a decree went out, that was it. That even if the king signed it, the king can't just undo it like that. Once it went out, and so now Haman has the king's ring. He is the Jews' enemy. He is our enemy, and he wants to set it up so that we're all wiped out in one day. Verse 11, the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors that were over every province and to the rulers of every people in every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language. In the name of King Ahasuerus was it written and sealed with the king's ring. And that's how easily in 3 chapters we've seen this king swayed by somebody getting in his ear like 4 or 5 times already. This guy is an idiot, and anybody that gets close enough to him can sway him. That don't remind you of something today? There's a ruler over this empire that's an idiot and that has advisors that hate us to the core. Y'all know this, right? All of Trump's advisors, from Stephen Miller, he used to have Steve Bannon up in there, Pete Hegseth, who renamed his title to the Secretary of War. Stephen Miller, who thinks that he's up there giving, I can't say the H word, but giving speeches from the leader of Germany in the 40s. They really, truly, from the bottom of their heart to their core, hate blacks and Hispanics. Everyone that's close to Donald Trump hates our people, wants to see us gone from America completely. Elon Musk is another one. They don't even hide it. And these are the cats that's right up in his ear. So this story is illustrating how quickly something can happen when you have a stupid ruler with people up in his ear close to him that hate us. Verse 13, and the letters were sent by posts into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take spoil of them for a prey. And just like that, they sent a decree out to all across the empire. And you imagine the traveling of messages in these ancient times. So we already know it can't just be undone according to their custom. But now just think of how once a message is sent out, how long it would even take to pull it back. So they establish a day, they send people out to all the provinces, and that's it. And that's supposed to be it. Verse 14, the copy of writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people that they should be ready against that day. So now you imagine, and these are things that we can visualize so easy today. That's why I started out saying if you look up any of the white man's so-called scholars, they love to try and discredit the book of Esther. They love to try and say this is a fairy tale type story. This is an allegory, and it's so important to push back against that at every turn because they can't relate to this. They can't comprehend it. But this is our lives today. This is not even that far-fetched that a decree would go out that's just going to wipe us out in a day. Trump put decrees out to get rid of all the Mexicans in one day, sent ICE out all over the country, and all of a sudden we went from not even being able to comprehend this to federal officers on the streets of every city while the mayors are complaining, the governors they can't do anything about it. And they're just out there jumping out of unmarked SUVs and basically kidnapping people. That happened like that. This is real life. Chapter 4. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and a bitter cry and came even before the king's gate. For none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. Because that was our mourning custom, to put on sackcloth and ashes, but he couldn't go past that gate because the king didn't want to see that. Verse 3, in every province whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Because you can visualize this. They're out there. This decree comes. We're living in across this empire in our little communities. Everybody else already looks down on us, hates us. Now a decree comes out that a day is coming in a few weeks, months, whatever it was, that they can just wipe us out. Now we're looking around our communities like, what are we going to do? Just pack up and leave overnight? This is real life. This really came down, and the whole communities were just in disbelief, in mourning, no idea what to do. Verse 4, so Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved. And she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. Then called Esther for Hatach, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend to her. Shout out to everybody joining on the Instagram live too. To attend to her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So Hatach went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate, and Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them. Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, and to make requests before him for her people. So he's giving her the full rundown. He's letting her know how she's going to handle this. And again, she follows the guidance of this brother wisely. Verse 9. And Hatach came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Again, Esther spake unto Hatach and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king in the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. Again, the king is a goofy. The king got a wife that he just locks up and forgets about. He lets anybody get in his ear and tell him what to do. He has this custom that if somebody comes that he didn't call, either he holds out the golden scepter or they get it on the spot. And so that's the risk that Esther will be taking to go into him to speak to plead on behalf of her people. If he doesn't hold up that gold scepter, if he's in a bad mood, because we can already see he's just a moody, temperate, he gets drunk, he's a goofy. So if he's in a bad mood, he don't hold out that golden scepter, Esther's done. That's the risk. That's the setup. Verse 13, then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place, but thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? And there's so much to unpack in those verses. Number one, if you're in a position, if you find yourself in a position to help your people and you get scared and you start worrying, you let your fear turn you into a coward, you're still not going to escape anyway. You think you're hiding, you think you're safe. And that's all these characters, all these soft, effeminate Negroes that want to get up into politics, that want to try and cozy up to Trump or try and get a powerful position in the other party. And they just looking for a nice little slice of the American dream. They're just looking for their little piece of land, their little happy little middle-class suburban life. And they're not going to get it. They're still going to learn that they still niggas. And we still at the bottom. We still in this America. We're still hated everywhere. And we got that term, the wake-up call. It always comes. It inevitably comes. You're not safe. You're not hiding. All you're going to do is make yourself a coward, and you're still going to get it. So that's your one job, is to at least have courage. If you find yourself in a position to help your people, use it. Is then verse 14, for if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. What does that mean? The Lord is still going to save his people with or without you. The Most High is still going to deliver his people and do whatever he wants to do with us. So if you have your opportunity to play your part and you let it go because you're a coward, because you're weak, the Lord's just going to throw you out the way. You're still going to get it. And the Most High is going to use somebody else or something else. You don't need me. You don't need no individual. Verse 4, or the rest of verse 14. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And that's the end that comes to a coward. You're still going to lose. You're just going to be a loser with no dignity. You're going to be a loser with no integrity. You'll be a loser with no courage and no legacy. Your remembrance will be the coward that what's a PG YouTube word? The coward that did not stand up when it was your time. And then you'll be forgotten about. And somebody else will be remembered for having stepped up. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? In other words, this is your whole reason for even being here. This might be your whole reason that you're in this position, that the Lord placed you here to be set up, to play your part, to stand on your square, and to be the pawn that the Most High uses to deliver his people in that moment. So verse 15, then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. And so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish. And this sister had more courage than most of our people out there in this country today, just trying to have a little bit of safety in America. And that's I hope some FBA clown is listening. Maybe you joined on Instagram. I hope one of y'all listening, because that's y'all. Y'all just trying to find a little piece where you can be, a good American, and you can get a pat on the head and get a few dollars from your slave master. While this sister, this woman, said, if I perish, I perish. And this is another part, and I love pointing this out because honestly, if you look into Esau's scholarship, he's going to try every which way to tell you that Esther is a made-up story, even though there's all these historical details we can verify. The next thing he's going to say is it's the one book without the Most High's name or God in it. But right here, she requested everybody to fast for 3 days. What are they fasting to? You fast and pray. What is the point of fasting if you're not praying? This is clear. This is obvious. They don't need to say the word God if she's fasting, if everyone is fasting for 3 days and nights. Verse 17, so Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. And it was so when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court. So now this is the moment of truth. Is he going to extend the golden scepter, or is he going to have her head chopped off? She obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, Queen Esther, and what is thy request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom. And Esther answered, if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. So Esther is playing chess. She thinking moves ahead. She didn't ask for everything right on the spot. She just asked, I'm going to make y'all a feast. Come to the banquet that I'm going to prepare for you. Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed. So even this goofy king understood that wasn't the request, right? She was buttering him, she was warming him up. Verse 7, then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said. Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, which, by the way, even that is beautiful, because now they're in the middle of trying to undo this decree that's about to put every Israelite in this empire to death. And Mordecai still let this dude walk by him and ignored him and refused to bow to him. That's standing on business. That's a real man. This entire book, this entire story is about courage. It's about finding yourself in a position to either cower or to stand on what you know we're supposed to do as Israelites, on how we're supposed to follow the Most High, serve the Most High, and be righteous. And this is about knowing that you're risking it all and still standing on your square. Verse 9. Verse 11. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced himself above the princes and servants of the king. So this is this type of dude this guy is. This is the little small man that was so offended that Mordecai wouldn't bow to him. After he leaves, he calls all his friends. He calls his wife just to tell him how great he is, just to tell him how amazing he is, that he was elevated, that he was right under the king. He thinks he's so special for this, and he just wants everybody to worship him and admire him. Verse 12. Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king. So this guy who's so easily, his head is so easily pumped up, he thinks he's special because he's invited to this banquet. He don't see it coming. Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate. So all this, he's got basically carte blanche in the empire. He has the king's ring, and he don't care about any of it if Mordecai won't bow to him. Verse 14. Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made. And so now it's another twist. Now they're trying to hang Mordecai before Esther even gets to the banquet. Chapter 6, verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. And so this, when I was a kid, I saw, and I never watched this, but I happened to see this one episode of that show, Veggie Tales, and they did the whole Esther story. And the one thing they got right, they made the king goofy as hell. And this is who this cat is. And he's just sitting there. He can't sleep. He's got them bringing in his records and just reading them to him. Verse 2. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. So remember, we went over this a few chapters ago, but the king had completely forgotten about it. Verse 3, and the king said, what honor and dignity hath been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him. And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. So Haman left his friends and his wife, had the gallows built. He was walking into the king's court to tell the king to hang Mordecai. At that moment, the king is reading about how Mordecai saved his life and saying, did we honor this guy for saving my life? So now he's having them bring Haman in. Verse 5 and verse 6. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself? So this idiot immediately hears that somebody's being honored. He thinks it must be him. Verse 7. and Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighteth to honor, let the royal apparel be brought, which the king uses to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal, whom the king delighteth to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor. So now this cat thinks he's slick. He's thinking of every incredible thing that he can have done. He's saying, whoever it is that you want to honor, king, you should put your crown, you should give him your horse, you should give him your robe, and give him a parade through the city. Verse 10. Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken. And I wish I could have seen this dude's face fall when he heard Mordecai, the Israelite that he was trying to have hanged. Now he personally has to go and put the king's crown and robe and lead him through the city in a parade. That's the Lord getting a good laugh out of this before he cuts him out the picture completely. So verse 11, then took Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed Mordecai and brought him on horseback through the street of the city and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor. And he must have been walking through the city saying that with the sourest look on his face, like thus shall it be done to the king, to the man who the king delighteth to honor. This dude was mad. Got his face cracked. This dude was mad. And this is beautiful because this is the Most High setting up balance and justice. And this arrogant dude had to be brought low before he was even taken out. That's poetic. That's what we should expect today. So all you soft people out there who don't like the idea of justice, this is how God delivers justice. He flips it right back on the enemy that he wants to bring low. That's all through the scriptures. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Happy shall he be that dasheth thy little ones. Their queen shall be thy nurse and mothers. The Most High flips it back and absolutely creates justice by putting these people that had the audacity to violate the Lord's chosen people in the exact position that they put us in or tried to put us in. And that's our prayer on what we want to see happen to the white man. And if you can't get with that, then you're just soft. You're just soft. Verse 14 or verse 13. And Haman, verse 12, and Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning and having his head covered. This cat was broken up. He was ashamed. He went back to his house. He couldn't even show his face. The guy that he was so offended by that he wanted to tear up the entire empire to kill all his distant relatives. He just had to honor him in a parade. Verse 13, and Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him. So they were starting to pick up on this. Maybe you mess with the wrong people. Maybe you mess with people that God is with. Because this is too crazy to be coincidence. Verse 14, while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared. So now he gets picked up, he's being taken to the feast, and he probably already sees that this is not going the way he thought it was going. Chapter 7. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to everybody dropping scriptures in the chat. These are the scriptures that tell us that we're going to see our enemy fall, that we're going to see our enemy pay for everything they did to us, everything they wished upon us. And that's why it's so beautiful to see the world implode. Everybody else out there is scared when they see missiles flying, when they see world leaders being taken out, when they see our nut president, it's like when I say our, when they see the nut president of this demonic empire getting ready to lose his mind and push the red button, they're terrified. But we're thrilled because we know what happens when this thing has to fall. We can't have peace. We can't have happiness. We can't be whole in this empire. This place hates us. Brought us here in slavery, rounded up the Native Americans and put them on reservations, ran through, massacred every group of natives they could find, put us into Jim Crow reservations, every foul thing that they could. Every generation is just something new. Whether it's the cops running up through our neighborhoods. There's just recently another major story in the NYPD and the abuse that they've been inflicting on blacks and Hispanics. There was just a big story on a federal investigation into some Louisiana police forces. This is constant. Nothing changes. No matter how much y'all want to think that it's going to change if you just, go through politics and get a bill passed. Some other president, some other senator, some other governor will come through and undo that bill and write a worse one to replace the old law. This is our hell. We don't have no peace in this hell. It has to fall. It has to fall for us to be whole. It has to fall for us to be in our rightful place. If you can't get that in 2026, waking up in your project apartment with no heat, on Section 8, on SNAP, and they telling you that they're going to cut SNAP and that you're a lazy bum for even being on SNAP while they rob the government for billions of dollars. If you can't understand that this place has to fall, I don't know. What will it take? Which on that note, at 9 o'clock, after we finish this, Commanding General Yohana will be going live on Black Watch and breaking down everything going on in the world, everything going on with Iran, with Trump, what's happening next, because this is, for our deliverance to come, our enemies have to fall. And that's a thing of beauty to watch it happen. Chapter 7 and verse 1. So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? Yeah, them pale-faced knuckle monsters. Right, exactly. And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition and my people at my request. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Then said the king Ahasuerus, answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he, and where is he, that durst presume in his heart to do so? So now the king, because he has, affection towards Esther, when she says this, he's mad. He's like, what? Who wanted to do this to you and your people? Who's the guy that you're talking about? Verse 6, and Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman. And remember, they're in a room, a banquet where it's just the king, the queen, and Haman. So she said, it's this wicked Haman. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. Verse 7, and the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen. So now visualize this. They're in this feast. Now this moment comes out of nowhere to the king. She says, it's this guy, your right-hand man. She didn't say all this, but he's thinking, damn, this is the guy that I had right next to me. I gave him my ring. I gave him carte blanche, free reign to send out decrees. This is like my main man. So he had to get up and walk out into the garden to think, damn, what am I going to do about this? And while he's out there, Haman is like, oh, I'm done. And so he gets up to start begging Esther. And so verse 8, slack it, the rest of verse 7. For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king, because he knew whatever the king came back in from the garden, it wasn't about to be good for him. The king was working it out, what he was going to do, or just, basically processing, but he knew it wasn't about to be good. So he's begging Esther. Verse 8, then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine, and Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. So you imagine he's begging, he's pleading with Esther, and she's like, get away from me. She's backing up, and he follows her onto the bed begging. The king walks right in at that moment and sees him on the bed with Esther backing away from him. It's a wrap. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? So basically, he walked in, saw this happen, and said, you about to grape the queen in front of me now? On top of everything? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. So whoever his guards were in the palace saw that happen, and they knew that they didn't even need the word. They knew what time it was. They grabbed him, put the bag on his face, and took him out. Verse 9. And Harbonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. So now they're telling the king to rest. She didn't hear this part yet. They're saying Haman had made a gallows for this guy, for Mordecai, who saved your life. Then the king said, hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. Chapter 8. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. So now little by little, everything's being revealed. So now Esther tells the king that Mordecai basically raised her. Verse 2, the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman. And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews. Then the king, because now we got this far. Haman's out the way. Everything else is set up, but this decree had still gone out to all the provinces. How many provinces they said? 27? And a whole lot, 127 provinces. Yes, 127 from India to Ethiopia, covering the whole Middle East. Decrees had gone out to all these provinces that a day was coming. As soon as that day came, everybody could just fall on us and wipe out all the Israelites in their town, in their province. So that still has to be dealt with. So verse 4. Then the king held out the golden scepter towards Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king and said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seemed right before the king. Somebody in the comments said, feet dangling. Yeah, Haman was 50 cubits up. He built that joint so that they could all see him, put Mordecai on him, and now the whole city saw him dangling up on that 50 cubit high gallows. And that's beautiful. Verse 5, and the thing seemed right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write ye also for the Jews, as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring may no man reverse. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews and to the lieutenants and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. And he wrote in the king Ahasuerus' name and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent letters by posts on horseback and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries, wherein the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and province that would assault them, both little ones and women, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar. So that same day that they sent out decrees that anybody in those provinces could just wipe us out, now the decree is, okay, all the Israelites in all these provinces on this day, they have full verification from the king that they can defend themselves in any way they see fit, and they can get y'all first, your women and your children, whoever think to lay a hand on them, they can take y'all out. Verse 13, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Jews should be ready against that day to avenge themselves on their enemies. So the posts that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given at Shushan the palace. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. Which, of course, don't get confused or twisted up by that. That means that they wanted to be like us. That don't mean they could. But they saw the power. They saw that the Most High was with us, and they just wanted to latch on any way they could. Chapter 9. Now in the 12th month, that is, in the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people. And I just want y'all to try and visualize this being the Ishman. Do you think that no man could withstand them and the fear of them fell upon all people? Have you seen these people? The so-called Jewish man ain't putting no fear on nobody. The government of Israel, sure, because they have the money of the whole world paying for any weapon their heart can conceive of. But if you just take a group of them, already the minority, and you just see a group of them, you're gonna be scared of them? You're gonna be scared of them little they're some of the most effeminate looking people on the planet Earth. They look half R-worded. They have to this day, they have to test their genes before having children with their women to make sure, because they have so many genetic defects going on. They're not putting fear in nobody. This is not talking about the white man that calls himself the Jewish man. Every description that you hear, that you read of Israelites in the scriptures, tells you it's not them. This is obviously not them. When we get together, these words apply. When so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans get together, now you can see somebody saying, no man can withstand them. The fear of them fell upon all people. That's how they speak when a group of black men, when a group of Hispanic men get together. Verse 3, and all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them. So now to add to that, they're all seeing who the Lord is with. They're seeing these things are not coincidences. Verse 4, for Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them. Anybody in any of these provinces, from India to Ethiopia, that was stupid enough to still try us, got slaughtered, got wiped out. They said they did what they would. You know what that means? That means somebody's trying to kill you. You just playing with them. You just whooping them, dragging them through the streets. They did what they would unto them. They said, you had the audacity to try me. Imagine just visualize it. Verse 6, and in Shushan the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men. And Parshandatha, and Dalphon, and Aspatha, and Paratha, and Adalia, and Aradatha, and Parmashtha, and Arisai, and Aradai, and Vajistatha, the 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil laid they not their hand. On that day, the number of those that were slain in Shushan the palace was brought before the king. And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now what is thy petition, and it shall be granted thee? Or what is thy request further, and it shall be done? So he's looking at the carnage. They executed 500 of these heathens right in front of the king's palace, that he could step out in his balcony and see. He's saying, well, I can imagine what's going on in India and Ethiopia and everywhere else. What is it you want? I'll give you whatever you want. That's what he's saying to Esther at this point. Verse 13, yeah. Yeah, when you dig a ditch for someone, you dig yours deeper and you fall in it. Verse 15. Verse 13. Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according unto this day's decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows. And the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. Isn't that beautiful? Somebody made themselves an enemy to our people, and his whole lineage got wiped out in one stroke. That's beautiful. There's too many of our people that's in this mindset. We still got this slave mentality. We don't want to see vengeance. Somebody came up against our people, wanted to wipe us out. You're supposed to want to see his whole family hanging, their feet dangling from the same gallows that they built to put our people on. Verse 16. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives and had rest from their enemies and slew of their foes 75,000. But they laid not their hands on the prey. On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. And that's what we're doing to this day. 2 days of feasting and gladness, remembering the Most High, delivering us from our enemies, destroying and humiliating and humbling our enemies, and giving us enough rest to kick back and have a feast. And like the scriptures say, to eat, drink, and be merry. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Verse 18. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same, they rested and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Shout out to that. Verse 19. Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month of Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same yearly. And that's what we're doing right now. And tomorrow we're going to be right back for another feast, because we don't party just for one day at a time. We feast, and we're going to remember the Most High destroying our enemies. Because this is carnage. 75,000 bodies across the empire just for trying us, just for being the only 75,000 that were dumb enough to try us. Verse 22. As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they call these days Purim, after the name of Pur. So that's why we call this Purim. That's lots. That's the lots that they tried to cast to our destruction. Kind. Matter of fact, let me pull it up in the Hebrew. Therefore, for all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them and upon their seed and upon all such as join themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing and according to their appointed time every year, and that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed the matters of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book. Chapter 10. And the king Ahasuerus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea, and all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declaration of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him. Are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia? And that right there is a sarcastic checking of anybody that will come after all these Edomite clown scholars that swear that Esther is not real history. All of these things you can find in the Persians' history. Esther is in the Persians' history. All the details we went over of this kingdom and its reach and its extent is in the Persian history. These are real places, real people, real dates. It's verifiable. And it matters because this book, this story, is such a heavy connection to today. It's not something that it's something the white man can discard easily because it don't matter to him. It doesn't relate to him. It's some ancient weird story that is kind of funny for him. But this is real life. These are the same things we're going through today, and it's an ending that we pray for, to see the destruction of our enemies, to see the carnage in front of us, to see our enemies, anyone who would have us taken out, laid out before us because the Lord put them there and delivered us into our hands. That's a beautiful thought. It's a beautiful concept. And all of our high holy days and feast days are celebrating the same thing, happening over and over. The next high holy day, of course, is the Passover. The Passover is a celebration of the Most High delivering us from captivity and destroying our enemies in front of us. The memorial of trumpets, the Hanukkah, everything that we celebrate is the Most High delivering us from our enemies, delivering our enemies into our hands, and bringing their destruction. That is a beautiful thing to look for, a beautiful thing to hope for, a beautiful thing to pray for. And that's all we should be thinking when we see missiles flying all over the place. I can't wait. 9 o'clock, everybody should be tuned into Black Watch. I can't wait to hear this breakdown because everything that we read about in here is playing out. And it just confuses the white man that tries to study these scriptures. But this is what's right in front of us. And so this is beautiful. And verse 3, for Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, and speaking peace to all his seed. Cool.
What I'm saying is that what you're saying is deep because we came into school, for in the hope to see these things. You know what I mean? To live to see, World War III that we heard about Commander Johanna and the men before him prophesy about. Because you got cats in other religions, and they live to to hope to see things that will never happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's we believe in the right thing, and we're in the right place. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
100%. That's a beautiful thing. It is beautiful to see this world fall apart, unless you like it. If you like living in America as a black or Hispanic man, you're selfish, coward, and you're an idiot. But all that's beside the point. You're still wrong. And it's going to fall. It has to fall. It's a beautiful thing when this place falls because it shows that the Most High cares about his people. A kingdom and an empire that oppresses and torments and hates and attacks the Lord's chosen people will not stand. And how could it be otherwise? This is beautiful. This story is beautiful. Mordecai, at the end of the story, Mordecai was elevated right next to the king. And this was, of course, for a time before the Lord delivered us out of the empire and out of the captivity. Of course, this is not the end. This is not the happy ending, the solution. This was the solution to that immediate situation. But we still had to be brought out of that captivity. We still were not content. And there's too many of our people that are content in this captivity, in this empire. But we're going to Baba Shah.
It's like you said, if I may, I just wanted to pull a precept on what you were saying. Like, we should be happy about this time. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 7. Slaki. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that had joy of his children, and he that lived to see the fall of his enemy. So it just be common sense to see the fall of your enemy and have vengeance.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All we want to do is live to see the fall of our enemies. You don't want to die in America. You want to live to see this place be destroyed that did so much to our people and our ancestors. And this is beautiful. Any of y'all want to say anything? Well, we're going to be right back here tomorrow. We're going to go a little bit deeper. We managed to get from the start to the end of Esther. We're going to go delve deeper into the history and everything else tomorrow. 9 o'clock. Tune in right now to Black Watch, to Commander General Johanna and the generals. Going to break everything that's going on in the world today. And I'm sure they're going to tie it in together with Purim. In the meantime, eat, drink, and be merry. Shalom, Israel.